Keith, what do you think about retirement?
I think retirement is probably the most wonderful time of life, but you can't use it as a time when life is over. It has to be a time when life really begins. And I retired first time when I was 65. We moved to our condo up on the lake in eastern Arizona mountains. And I was through practicing medicine after all those years, and I walked into the little 80-bed hospital in Cholo, Arizona, and said, now this shows smarts from a guy, yes. I walk into a little hospital that's 3 hours from the closest major hospital, and I said, hi, I am Dr. Mack. I'm an anesthesiologist. If you should ever need help, I would be glad to come help you. Well, it was almost 3 days before I was working full time again. And my wife was good with that. She says, as long as you don't get politically involved. But within the next year, I was elected chief of staff of the hospital. And so I practiced 5 years in Cholo. I retired from there, and they gave me a pretty good retirement party, not quite as good as my first one, but I moved to Flagstaff, Arizona, up in the mountains again, and worked in a plastic surgery for 2.5 years, and then finally did retire. And when I retired this time, I bought an RV, got a key, and started out. We joined a Christian ministry, and we traveled for 4.5 years playing piano with this ministry all over the United States, and it was fantastic type of thing. So, and you know, during my retirement years, one thing that I have thoroughly enjoyed, which I didn't realize probably was a hobby, but I'd never thought of it as such. I love to do landscaping, and we would buy properties and spend a lot of time doing landscaping and redoing them and get them just the place we like and then sell them and move on. Don't ask me why, but that's just kind of what we did. So retirement has been kind of exciting for me. My first 2 years out of retirement, I wrote my first book about my son's drug addiction and my alcoholism. And that was a very interesting, somewhat of a sad project, but an interesting project, which, by the way, I just recently republished it in January of this year, and currently is having a screenplay written for Hollywood by several different producers who have asked for it. Whether anything will ever come of it, I don't know, but it's kind of fun anyway. And so, and like I said earlier in one of our interviews, is I had never written a poem until I was 86 years old. And my granddaughter graduated with her master's from San Diego State in literary arts. And I went up to her and I said, Brenda, you know, I just wish I could write poetry. And she said, well, Grandpa, give it a try. So I wrote a poem, and a couple of people liked it. And so I kept writing them. And then when I was 89, I published my first book of poetry, along with my son, who did the artistry along with it. And it was a fantastic adventure. It was just something that old people can do, you know, if you. So in regards to young people, don't work all your life towards retirement with the idea that you're going to be finished and quit. Work with the idea, or live with the idea, that when you retire, you're going to just go and do something new and different and keep going until one day you're looking at the roses from a different direction.